Hi there, welcome back to some more latest news and discussions on the Jay Slater missing person case. This time round, we're looking at the direction of the Tik Tok influencers, those that have gone out to try and search and help and assist in trying to get answers. Whilst we've already looked at one individual called Paul that, was claiming he wasn't getting paid at all or not paid enough and went off in a huff and a puff, threw toys out the pram, and also was claiming to have found sunglasses even though he wasn't the one to have found them. Besides him, another individual has come on in, another TikToker, but has left pretty soon because of supposedly being targeted and attacked by trolls. But in what way? In real life or online? If it's online, it shouldn't matter too much. But if it's in real life where it could put your life at risk in danger, well then, you might have to rethink that decision and, protect yourself. Now, I'm going to be looking at the article today to look at the additional details behind it and who is the person that's being targeted. So make sure to stick around for that. But let me just give you my thoughts and opinion, okay? There could be many people skeptical about this missing person case. Fair enough. There could be a range of people that may call out Jay Slater for numerous reasons. Fair enough. And people that call out the family and friends as well. Okay. But when it comes to other people, members of the general public, that themselves genuinely believe in the case in a missing person situation and all they want to do is help. Yes, you could say that they're delusional, the cotton wool's been pulled over their eyes, but if they just simply want to help, then that's what they should be allowed to do. They might make a mistake or, if the case is exposed as a sham and people have profited in the background, those that did help or those that did donate may feel like complete plums. But in the moment, if they want to help and it's their decision to do so, then they should be allowed to. And why should they be attacked for trying to help when they're just possibly seen as sheeple? In the eyes of the skeptical audience that, are directly looking at Jay Slater or the parents or the friends who are doing supposedly the bad things, creating all this sham, well, why do we need to be attacking other members of the general public who are just trying to help and try and find truth within the case? When you start getting pushed back, when there is a level of resistance, is that because you're getting too close to the truth? Sometimes that's correct. Sometimes it's because whatever you're participating in, those that push back are the ones responsible. But in this situation, it's the general public, some of which are pushing back, and I don't think they're responsible. So because it's the term trolls messing about, joking, calling people idiots and prats, but why do people want to push others away from going there to try and search? Let people do what they want or need to do. It's not the end of the world. If people are frustrated about the case or the people, it should be the ones directly in the case and not the general public trying to assist. Because look at those locals, supposedly, the locals and the experts. Are they getting constantly attacked or trolled? No. So could there be more of an individual factor in which this TikToker being targeted is because of who they are, the audience or the following that they do have, and popularity levels? Well, let's take a look at this article and make more sense about it. So this article is by Standard. The title reads, Jay Slater, TikTok star, searching for missing teenager, flew back to London in fear of his own safety. Known as Callum Fahim, said he had been targeted by trolls since landing in Tenerife. Targeted. Why would Callum be targeted? Is it because he stands out more than the general public, because he's a star, as it's worded here, a supposed celebrity, or, the typical line, influencer? Well, let's just see. This is by Dominic Hines. TikToker returned back to London, saying that he feared for his safety during a 2-week search for Jay. So we briefly touched upon this in one of the previous videos, but not much was elaborated on, which is a shame, but hopefully it will give more of a backstory. Callum went to Tenerife to aid in the hunt for the 19-year-old Lancashire apprentice bricklayer, said he left because he no longer felt safe. Well, if he doesn't feel safe, then what about the family? Or what about the friends? What about anyone else who's out there searching? What about them? Just because this TikToker goes across and thinks, oh, my celebrity status could be at risk and I don't want to lose any of that. So if I feel a little bit unsafe, I'm going to run away. If I break a nail, I'm going to, be panicking. Is that what it's like? Or is there a bit of a darker reason behind it? The language worded here, though, in the aid, the hunt for Jay Slater, that makes it sound like he's a criminal, right? This whole case is about a missing person case, an innocent individual that's gone missing, and yet the language worded here as in the hunt You're not hunting Jay Slater, you're searching for Jay Slater. The times you're hunting for someone, you're tracking them down because they're a danger, they're a problem, there could be a criminal, right? So to use the word hunt, is that a slip of the tongue? I wonder. The avid hiker Callum said he received a chilling message on social media which warned him that his flight to the island had been tracked from his live streams. Part of the message read, "Be careful, people are going to find you at the airport, take extra care." He said he would love to get a hold of you. Right. The situation became horrific, Fahim told The Independent. "I didn't feel safe but felt a duty to stay. I didn't want to fail until we found him." Right. So basically this person says they feared for their life and they had to get away. But by the way, I'm still going to go there for about a week or two to search about. And then I'll claim that I feel unsafe. And then I'll decide to leave. Is that how it's implied here? It seems to be. Okay. Now, when it comes to live streamers on TikTok and more so Twitch, maybe YouTube, maybe Kick, you get stream sniping. That can apply in gaming, where people track or follow you in game, where they're about to join a match and then you join the match as well. So you get into their lobby and then you can terrorize them, you can troll them, and it's mostly harmless, but can be annoying for the streamer, of course, but there's a level of satisfaction from others in the background. But like stream sniping, just like photo bombing, can occur in real life. So if you're at a place, you're going to a hotel where you stay at, and you reveal the road name or the name of the hotel, and people are watching that live stream who may be living nearby or on the way, could get indication of the name of the place, a rough location, and then head straight down there and then confront you face to face. Sometimes could be harmless because people just want to meet their, you know, their celebrity, their star, someone that they look up to, if you want to call it like that. Or in other times, people may want to do more menacing things, right? To attack, hurt the person, threaten, who knows? And as it's mentioned here, in quotes, "Be careful, people are going to find you at the airport." Right. If people are going to find him at the airport, yet he still got to the airport, no one found him, and then he went on to search for a week or two, obviously it wasn't that bad, was it? Right? To say he said he would love to get a hold of you, who's he said? The one that quoted this about being careful, I wonder. And did he ever get a hold of him? Weird, isn't it? So it says, social media which warned him that his flight to the island had been tracked. Okay, so his flight has been tracked. But then, how was it tracked? You know, like a tag, a device, some kind of ping, or someone just simply watching a live stream video and noticing, you know, within the footage like a clue or a hint, an indicator. But nevertheless, even if people could track where you were going up to a certain point, which was the airport, as long as they can't track you after that, then it shouldn't really matter. And to be honest, even if your flight wasn't tracked and you still ended up in Tenerife and you were okay, and then you're searching and you're doing your live streams and you're looking in the area, okay, near the place, near that Airbnb, for example, most people will be familiar with it by now and probably know the location. So whether you record it or not, people will get an idea. Oh, that's where he is, so we'll go and track him. Wow, rocket science. That didn't take much, did it? You see what I'm saying? It's not that deep, it's not that hard to be tracking, but for someone to track in the first place in a malicious stalking way, a bit questionable, right? What else? Group of search and rescue workers near to village. Right, in quotes, hearing the heartbreak from his mum, I wish them nothing but success. He shared that threats and online harassment combined with the presence of organised criminal gangs and dwindling funds ultimately drove him to leave. Dwindling funds. Does that mean out his own back pocket? I mean, did he reach out to the family to possibly get some kind of money and being able to help as a volunteer? I mean, that GoFundMe, there's enough money there, £50,000, maybe a little bit could have been given to this guy to keep on searching. I'm not saying that it should have 100%, but just as a possibility. I mean, if that other TikTok guy, Paul, got like £750 from the family to search about, then how come this guy, Callum, didn't? Or did Callum just not reach out in the first place, right? But, you know, the more you read this, the more it unfolds and you think maybe this person was being extra cautious, which isn't a bad thing, kind of smart, but at the same time, it's like you talk about threats and online harassment. You know, you probably would fear for your life more knowing that the country you're going back to, or the place, London, where the harassment could be coming from, that's where you're going to be in danger. But the further you are away from the threats, you know, the safer you are to an extent. And it's that coming back. A little bit different, but you know, like when you think of football, if you're a footballer and you're representing your national team, you mess up in a penalty shootout, you could get death threats online, you could get hate as well from your own country. And it can be disheartening, it can be upsetting, it could be a bit threatening, depending on what people are like. But that's whilst you're on tour or whilst you're in a different country taking part in a tournament. It's when you get back home, you get back to your country, the place where some people are from, who are sending you those threats, death threats, warnings and stuff. So you'd feel that your life is more in danger if you was to return back to where you live than where you are right now. So for this guy, Callum, to be out there searching up to a certain point, receiving online harassment, yeah, okay, it's online, people behind a screen, cowardly behaviour. Where are these online people from, right? Within Tenerife or in other countries or even in the UK? The further away they are, the less of a threat they are towards you. It's when it becomes in real life threats, in real life danger. And how it's been shared here, it was all online and that's it. And with the presence of organised criminal gangs out there, I wonder if Callum was assuming that the organised criminal gangs are the ones responsible for this threatening behaviour and online harassment online. But would these criminal gangs be petty enough to try and cover up a Jay Slater case where if they are organised gangs, they probably would have organised a clean cover-up, so no need to worry for anyone searching for the truth because it wouldn't be found. And for organised criminal gangs to appear online and show a dark presence, they're only going to incriminate themselves and make them look more suspicious and possibly traced and tracked back. Are they stupid enough to do that? Maybe Callum is tying one thing with another, which doesn't actually link, and they're two separate situations. But that feeling and presence and that atmosphere, that where you are, you could be surrounded by danger, but you can't quite see it. But online as well, you got eyes following you and you get endangered there. But at the end of the day, right, when it comes to Callum, okay, if he feels in danger, he feels like there's a dark presence around him, he's live streaming it. So you're kind of bringing in that hate and that harassment. If you don't want the harassment, but you want to be able to search and do it somewhat safely, then you just don't do live streams. Unless you do that, because it's the only way you can keep on going, because that's your role. If you're a content creator, if you're an influencer, you've got to make content, you've got to do videos, you've got to do live streams. If that's what you're all about and that's what you normally do, I can understand why you would have to keep up and follow that. But there are some people out there that could do a pre-recorded video. So there isn't that live presence or that live harassment. And you have the option to do a pre-recorded video, edit out the stuff you don't want seen or tracked in the background, and then upload it to people online. Because live streams aren't the be-all and end-all, but maybe some people rely on them more than others because that's what their channel is all about, or their content. So if this TikToker, this supposed star, does lots of live streams and that's really it, and that's what works for them, then maybe they couldn't do alternative options. But if you're passionate enough and you care enough to search and you want to be there as long as possible, there are other ways to do it. And you can still record, you just don't do the live stream part. Because live streams are risky. Things can be picked up in the background. Things can be picked up as in audio in the background, and it could compromise you. It could be an awkward situation. Things could go wrong, okay? Live streams have captured many unusual, dodgy, and even embarrassing events on camera, and also put people in vulnerable situations, may have exposed them as well for numerous reasons. Live streaming is a risky thing to do. Is it dangerous? Sometimes, not always. So if this Callum guy didn't do live streaming but just passively searched in the background, didn't make a big deal about it, would he have been safer? Probably. Because you think about it, the family, they're out there searching. Whether they've been criticised online or not, They're still there searching. They've not been swayed or pushed away, nor have they been physically attacked. The volunteers out there searching, have they been attacked? Not from the looks of it. So if they're okay, how come Callum isn't? When it comes to Paul as well, the other TikToker, he went out there. He was okay. Well, some of the reasons as to why he left was because of the money situation and the frustration with the police. And that was mainly it. With this situation with Callum, it's because I'm being targeted. I'm being attacked. Could people, you know, just from an outsider perspective, suggest a possibility that this individual is taking it out of proportion and overreacting and doesn't want to get their hands dirty? They'll dip in so far, but then the odd moment of resistance, oh, I'm out, I'm done, seems a bit too soon. I mean, different situations, of course, but when I've covered cases, I could have received the odd death threat, I could have received the odd resistance, attacks, was it disinformation, possibly threatening language, all kinds of stuff, including weird cryptic codes. I went through a very weird period in 2021 where there was some very, very extremely obsessed individuals with me, and it was implied that they were coming after me. And even if it was silly behaviour or they were trolling, I still took it somewhat seriously. But did it scare me off from covering a case? No, I stuck around because it's online. It is what it is. The moment you see it in real life, then maybe you got to change things up, of course, but that didn't happen. The case of Callum, it looked like nothing physical or in real life happened to him whilst he was there. It was just that what was on his mind at the time and the atmosphere was kind of off. So, yeah. What else? In quotes, I returned home for safety reasons, but I didn't want to give up because I felt her pain. I want it to be known I'm not a bad person, I have a heart. I genuinely do care, but I'm receiving horrific messages from people threatening to kill me. So why is this guy receiving threatening death messages? And yet there's other people out there who have been searching and they've not. So why is this one person being targeted? This guy says, people said they're going to find me and break my back. That sounds a bit excessive, doesn't it? Right? Now, are these people that are giving these death threats and I'm going to break your back, are these the individuals that could be responsible behind Jay Slater's disappearance? I mean, first of all, you'd have to try and work out, are these online people, the presence of them, are they, you know, where are they communicating from? Are they using VPN? And if not, can you trace back their location? If it's somewhere in Tenerife, then there is probably room for concern. But if they're further afar or in other countries distant, then there wouldn't be as much of a need to worry and less likely for them to be linked to the case, the situation. That's at least in my mind, right? Because whilst Jay Slater, the case is somewhat popular, there can be many other people in the world, maybe every day, I'm not sure exactly the statistics, that can go missing or compromised under a certain situation with the involvement indirectly or directly with criminal networks and underworlds. So Jay Slater isn't the only one, so why would there need to be a resistance and a threat, a dark presence to repel anyone that gets too close to it, when there are many other people out there in the same situation who, you know, maybe just like Jay, maybe. Anyway, as Ben says, I've reported this to the police, but it's all fake Facebook accounts. It's making me ill and I'm losing my voice. What? Why would you lose your voice if you're receiving threats online? I mean, if you're reporting it to the police, unless this person's exaggerating again, making him ill in what way exactly? Are we talking about the mental health bandwagon where people are quick to jump aboard that to appear more innocent and be treated more leniently, I wonder? But nevertheless, the bit I just wanted to refer back to is the guy himself where he said, I want it to be known I'm not a bad person. Well, I didn't really think of that in the first place, but why did you have to bring it up? Normally, when you have to tell someone that you're not a bad person, you're actually a nice guy, you're a nice individual. Why are you trying to convince someone? Why can't you let your actions do the talking, okay? You're out there searching because you supposedly care and you're passionate, and other people out there would be able to see that. The others, who may be skeptical, would probably say you're a delusional, you're a do-gooder, you're blinded from the truth. Wow, that's such a bad insult, right? The only other form of criticism could come from the people say, oh, this TikToker going out there for clout, if that's the key word, profiting off of it. In a situation like that, yes, you would have to defend yourself because it could be a form of misinformation and it could discredit you. It could impact your credibility and presence online, of course. You always need to counter those false points. But to directly respond outwards publicly and say, I'm not a bad person, I'm not a bad person. I mean, can't you just let your actions do the talking when you've got to start convincing people that you're not a bad person, but you're a good person? That's maybe when people are even more suspicious of the situation, right? Do I think this individual is a bad person? Up to now, not from the looks of it, though I don't know too much about this individual and their presence on TikTok, if I'll be honest with you. But, you know, this individual is just like the other masses of people that believe in the case and are concerned and want to help in some way. Some will donate on the GoFundMe, others will do boots on ground. It is what it is. But when you do get the dark presence of people with threatening language, is it necessary? Not at all. What else do we have? Fahim's efforts in Tenerife involved organising searches in uncharted areas of the mountainous region around Moscow, where Slater vanished 3 weeks ago. There's that CCTV. Or photo, yeah. Despite the official search ending on land searched by Spanish police, Fahim and his team continue to explore difficult terrain, including outhouses, abandoned shelters, ravines, living off minimal supplies such as Doritos and appetizers. Wow, sounds so bad. What about the kids in Africa? On ending the search, he said, I'm not disappointed to come home. I feel like I went out there with good intentions, and even though I didn't bring Jay home to his mum, I hope that what I did was enough. I feel like I've given my all. I didn't succeed, but I feel like I supported the process of getting Jay home, he continued. I never claimed to be search and rescue. I can do mapping and resource and organise people. That is my strength. I think my kindness has been mistaken for weakness by the public. People are getting a thrill about abusing me. It is disturbing. Right. Mistaken for weakness. So because you're weak, that warrants you being attacked. It shouldn't always work out quite like that unless it's a bullying type situation where they can take advantage of you. But there could be people out there, not all of them, that could be criticising this TikToker like, oh, here we go again, another person chasing clout. And that could be considered an opinion. It's not life-threatening, that claim made or that opinion. The threatening, the death threats, that is on a different level. That seems a bit odd. So that's Callum Fahim. Probably what I'll do just for the thumbnail so it's relevant so we know who he is. This is all publicly viewable in case you're wondering. And this is the individual. Okay? In quotes, my life has been put in danger. My priority needs to be my safety. My mental health needs to be my protection. My mental health is so important. Why does it sound like the same old script celebrities, influencers, and even the general public use from time to time? You know, I've been called ugly, so I need to spend 5 hours away in peace and quiet. I'm probably going to go on holiday because I need to recharge my chakras and my energy. And then once I'm good to go, and I've spent some time to self-reflect and, you know, learn from the past and improve my mental health, I'll move forwards in the future. That's what I mean. You know, there are people out there that abuse the mental health bandwagon, which makes a mockery of it. Now, are we talking all about mental health here? No, but that's how it could be implied because I've just heard it so much, but it almost becomes like default language, like a script. But this guy truly believes that his life was put in danger. You do what you need to do, you get away. You spent enough time searching, so that's better than nothing. But what I will say is, to say that your life was in danger from the moment you were about to arrive at the airport, but you know what? Whilst I'm here, I might as well spend at least a week or two searching about for the sake of it. Yeah, my life is in danger. Yes, there's a criminal underworld and network out there, but never mind. I'm still going to search, even though I'm going to complain about my life being in danger. And then once the search is done, then I can say, oh my God, I need to get away from here. I need to escape quick. Yeah, makes you think. You could argue and say that Callum Fahim, despite the resistance and the threats, you know, he overcame it with his resilience and determination and grit to search for answers. Yes, that can be a counterpoint, but you can still always, you know, think, well, if your life is in that much danger and it's that bad, then you wouldn't put yourself through that, especially 2 weeks of searching. So there could be a level of exaggeration here, couldn't there? Right? It says video footage seen by The Independent. shows a man at the London airport filming himself and asking arriving passengers if they know Fahim, expressing frustration as he awaited his arrival. Wait, what's that? London airport filming himself asking arriving passengers. Does that mean Fahim or some other people? If they know Fahim? Weird. Slater's mother, Debbie Duncan, has also had to fend off trolls. She's been questioned over the use of £50,000 raised on the GoFundMe. So here's to think, £50,000 has been raised up to now. There's been claims or people in the background saying how about 30k or 32k was taken out of the GoFundMe, yet when you look at GoFundMe, it still remains at 50k, which is questionable. But nevertheless, what I would say is, okay, a good amount of money has been raised, quite a lot. People have been generous in showing support. But has that money been, put to good use? Considering that there have been volunteers recently and expertise reaching out to help, even though the family complained about their disappointment in only 6 people turning up originally. Well, it looks like it's improved since, and these volunteers volunteering not with money motivations. What's this 50,000 going to be spent on now then? Or is it already been spent on something? I wonder. It says, she wrote on Facebook, my beautiful son Jay is still missing, and believe me, this is no holiday. We're a normal working family from Lancashire going through hell. I do have proof of transactions and transfers to other persons, but I should not have to justify this. So you've got proof of transactions and money, going in or out of the GoFundMe account, yet it still remains at 50,000 and it's still going up. Unless the only counterpoint in defence, the only possible thing would be so much money was taken out of the GoFundMe, and then basically because people carried on donating, it went back up to that original amount and has gone on since. That's the only way of making sense of it. Now, after reading that, do you think that if a person was to go out searching out of, from a genuinity because they want answers, they want to help, should a person like that be attacked for what they do? Should they receive death threats and be put in danger? Or do you think this situation was blown out of proportion and the individual Callum has taken it upon himself to make him appear like a victim or worse off than what he actually was, so you could actually gain further from the situation by almost twitting it as if, yes, my life was in danger from the moment I got to the airport, the situation, then searched for 2 weeks, constantly worried about my safety in the presence of dark people and the criminals out there, and then finally making it back home and being praised as resilient for staying there for a certain length of time despite all the looming, threatening behaviour over him. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What I would say is, in general, if you're just a person trying to help a case, trying to make sense of it, find answers, whether that be online or boots on ground, you shouldn't be attacked for it. At least definitely not in threatening behaviour, death threats. That is unnecessary. Unless you're part of the original problem and you're assisting in covering things up yourself, creating misdirection, confusion, yeah, then you are a problem. Would that warrant death threats? Still probably not, it's not the right thing, but it probably would warrant a lot of skepticism, criticism, and counterpoints made, of course. Now, I've covered cases, not boots on ground, but I've still been attacked for doing it, and it has been questionable at times. But when it does come to insults and complaints, right, it is what it is. It's people's opinions. If you put yourself out there, and you put yourself out there online especially, the good will roll in with the bad. It is what it is. If you don't like it, then don't participate within it. But if you still want to, engage within the case or so, without all this scrutiny, attacking and criticism, you can do it. You just don't record yourself. But did this person record themselves because they had to, because of the situation they're in, because them being a star influencer content creator, that's how they earned from that, so they had no choice? Could they let one go and just do this off scene, and then provide maybe update videos afterwards as a bit of negotiating, or other reasons? Let me know what you think down below. I mean, out of the other people that have searched, whilst they might have been criticised or trolled online, I've not heard about their lives being put in a threatening situation, even that other guy called Paul. But this one particular guy, Callum, says he's being attacked from all angles. Why him specifically? Is it about the case? Is it about those within the case? the criminals possibly, or is it more so that there are just people out there that have a direct problem with Callum, regardless of what case or wherever he goes? Because if there are people that may have an obsession, a grudge with you, that threatening behaviour and language can always follow you no matter where you go or what you do, good reasons or bad, okay? So there's always that sub-factor. So let me know all your thoughts in the comment section. Feel free to like and share the video, that would be much appreciated, and I'll see you later. Thanks for your patience. Goodbye for now.